Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-Black perspective, where Black problems are addressed with Black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.
All right, welcome to episode 28 of the Harsh Reality Podcast. I'm your host, D-Web, and I'm joined by my esteemed co-host. First, we got the one and only Mr. L. Miguel. L, what up, bro?
Happy to make it to 2022. I mean, I can't call it other than that.
Word. Happy Roman Gregorian calendar New Year. And also my other faithful co-host, you know, I guess she promoted herself. The resident fact checker, right? Congrats on your promotion, by the way. I like the initiative, right?
Hey, y'all.
And today I am proud to introduce my special guest co-host. This is an emerging influencer. I like to call her the gangsta boo of the Pan-African movement for what she be dropping. Lero, what's going on?
What's up with it? Happy to be here.
What's going on? And am I saying that right? Is it Lero or Lero? How you say that?
Yeah, Lero.
Right, sure. I want to chop up your name, yo. All right, and on this podcast, we plan to hit on various topics revolving around latest news, business, family life, hip-hop, social commentary, and any recent headlines that affect our community. And I have to throw the disclaimer out there, by no means are we experts, just everyday people with a small platform here to add our 2 cents to the various subjects we plan on discussing today. Also, make sure y'all go follow us on the Harsh Reality Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and make sure y'all do that. You know, we gotta get those numbers up. We looking puny out here. We gotta get those numbers up. Firstly, let's shout out Melanated Conscious Society, MCS, headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, is a mentorship organization teaching various life skills as well as knowledge of ourselves. A very important mission. Make sure y'all follow them on Facebook and Instagram for the latest news and valuable information. Also, shout out to the KWAZ Radio family. Y'all heard the intro. KWAZ providing the latest and greatest and conscientious-oriented content. Make sure y'all follow them on all forms of social media, as well as subscribe to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, hosted by Koku, the Pro-Black Perspective, hosted by Oni, and the Learning Curve, hosted by the very knowledgeable queen, the revolutionary matron. Lastly, the podcast is on Patreon. Please donate. We got bills to pay and kids to feed. We need monies. So, of course, all proceeds go to upgrading the show and provide the best content we can for loyal listeners. Also, for those looking to reach out to the show and drop an opinion, maybe a topic we can hit on, make sure y'all hit us up at theharshrealitypod@gmail.com. Now, without further ado, let's get to the topics. I feel like I've been talking for 10 minutes, yo. I got to shorten this intro. I got the first things that stop the begging movement, right? This kind of got inspired by the Bitter Medicine Podcast. He was talking about Black folks leave begging in 2021. I'm like, yo, that's kind of dope. So, you know, I've seen a lot of posts about the Stimmies, reparations, college entrance. I had a discussion the other day with a female on the Shoot the Breeze episode, and she was talking. I suggested like a lottery for college entrance, and she was like, oh no, Black people need to be elevated, above or some to that nature. And housing and things like that. Are we kind of conflating demanding with begging? And can we expect anybody else to like downgrade their standard of living to like boost us up? Do you think that's not a feasible thing to even expect that, or am I tripping? So throw it out to y'all. Who we got? Yeah, what you think, bro?
I think we hit this on the Slim Stimmy episode,
Slim Stimmy.
I don't know how many times we gotta, kind of go down this rabbit hole of ain't nobody gonna give us nothing, I think this is more directed to their chosen, we can't even say his name on the air. I think that joint flags, right? But
who you talking about, Brandon, bro?
No, good old president.
Jim.
Sleepy Joe.
Yeah,
Sleepy Joe. I think that's more like, hey, bro, what you told us you was going to do this for us last year. What's going on? You know, they indirectly are trying to put pressure on him, but I think if you ain't willing to go storm no Capitol building, you might as well cancel Christmas, like you usually say. Like, ain't nobody gonna give us nothing. Everybody out here fighting for resources. I think it's just time to put the accountability on ourselves to dig us out our own hole. Even if they were to come through with the stimulus payments, with these continuing college deferments, or even wiping college debt, does that really change the problem? Does that really help fix our problem? Does that change our mind frame of how we spend our money? And I don't think it really does. It's like telling a fat person to go take diet pills, but you don't change the way that you think about food. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to address the mental aspect of what all of these things would do for us before we just go take it. And then sit back, and then watch us continuously spin the way that we do, not build anything, not really put anything to our own infrastructure. Then they'd be like, see, that's why we didn't want to give you anything in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So, I completely agree with him. Like the whole begging movement, I think the whole begging movement is kind of what got the POTUS in the White House in the first place. We scared of the orange man. So let's, please come save us. It's just outrageous. We put ourselves in this bind. As for some of us, we seen it coming. And then for the latter, they just don't want to really deal with this, their choice. So that's just kind of where I'm at on it.
Where anybody else got any? Lero, what you doing? What you think about the is there a difference you think between demanding or beg? Do you think that we are doing more begging than demanding? Because to me, I think demanding is like you have to have a consequence if you don't do something, right? So what's your thoughts?
Exactly. If you demanded something, there's a consequence if you don't see through with that demand. A demand's kind of like, I'm telling you, begging and asking. I'm not for any of that for Stimmies, reparations, all of that. Like, even with Stimmies, what were Stimmies doing? I mean, rent high as hell. Like, that Stimmies wasn't doing nothing for real. Like, that's not going to close the wealth gap, erasing college debt and all that stuff. It's just, I don't know, kind of silly and futile to me. I'm not begging the government for a damn thing. So that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. And that's the point I was making. Like, yo, if you don't get your way, right? If you don't get, your, school money, right? If you don't get your student loan debt wiped off, right? If you don't get your Stimmies, right? If you don't get any of these things, what are you willing to do? And it's like, the only thing people have given me is like, yo, I'm not going to vote no more. It's like, bro, like, you think they care about two things on that? For one, they've already tapped your replacement, right? Dude was playing Despacito at the election campaign for a reason, right? Not to mention they threw Muhammad and them on the plane over here to replace you, right? So you can sit at the crib if you want. There's other people that still gonna vote, right? If that's the only thing you can offer. And I say on the second thing on that note, you still gonna go to work on Monday. You still gonna pay your taxes, right? You still gonna play in their sports leagues and win them gold medals. You still gonna, watch Black Ink and whatever dumb, Love and Hip Hop, whatever they throw on your TV for programming or whatever. You still gonna go out Christmas shopping. We just passed Christmas, right? How many people out here buying PS5s and stimulating the hell out of the economy, right? So it's like, there's no consequence for not giving you your way. So why would I give you anything, right? I'll tell you kick bricks too. You know what I'm saying? Ryan, you got anything on that?
I feel like it was you that said this before, but we don't really own or control anything to be in a position to demand anything anyways. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm a wise man. Thank you.
Dude, we need to force these NBA and NFL players to go on strike. That you know what I mean? Like, all y'all sit the hell down. Y'all getting
And the
cold every day.
NBA.
You know, just let's hurt sports betting for a good 30 days straight. It'll be all kind of change, at least from you know, hurting somebody's pockets, because we don't own nothing. But I think our biggest assets are you know, unfortunately is that we're the backbone of entertainment. You know, I think the new Batman got another black Catwoman.
Our influence.
You know, MJ is a half black woman, or not. Well, she's a quarter black, right?
Zendaya. I don't know what her nationality is.
I think you know, she's a melanated Mary J.
Right.
Watson, you know,
Right.
and so, you know, unfortunately, we don't own anything, but we do still have pretty strong influence. I don't think that the people that have the influence, they're looking down at everybody else at these pitiful cries for help, and they're like, I ain't about to give up this 7-figure check because you want to go buy some Jordans, bro. You know, like, that's just what you know, we as a collective, and part of this is, you know, they kind of get rid of our leaders on mainstream media. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is banned from any form of every platform, you know, which is crazy if you think about it. Like, he can't
Louis
go.
Farrakhan, bro. I think Elijah's been out of here for a while, bro.
Oh, okay. So, so
Yeah,
you know,
he show up, you might want to.
But you know, he you know, like, we don't have that leader structure in our community in order to kind of propel the conversations that need to be had. You know, they'll throw Cardi B, put a mic in front of her face and ask her political questions.
Charlemagne and, you know,
yeah,
these different characters that they know. That Stephen A. Smith, who've been talking about Kyrie, he probably crying right now because Kyrie playing basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like yeah, they owe that man an apology too. They owe that man an apology, but you're not going to hear that narrative. You know, but you know, unfortunately, like, a lot of the big narratives are in entertainment. So the other problem is that those entertainers are so far removed from the average, you know, from us, you know, the consumer, that that they don't have to adhere to what even we say. So you know, it might help to hurt their pockets. Like, yo, if y'all don't, you know, do something, we gonna start watching football, but you know that ain't gonna happen. You know, that's not gonna happen, and that's part of our issue.
Nah, bro. I mean, it was time, like, when, you know, when I was still, you know, lame to the grift, but, you know, I had stopped watching football like a couple years after the cap thing, right? And it was like I was like the only mother sucker not watching football. Yo, I go to work every day or whatever. And, yo, you see, nah, I ain't see nothing, right? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you can't get motherfuckers to inconvenience themselves none in terms of stopping anything. Like I said, you ain't see none of this Christmas money stop. I seen everybody posting on, you know what I mean, the different social media platforms, despite all this inflation, despite you paying $4 in gas, despite all this, that, and the third, you ain't get your college monies. They talking about the pipeline clogged up in terms of the supply and everything. You still found that PS5. You still buy the Oculus and sent your kids to the metaverse, right? To be raised by Zuckerberg, right? So it's like, I don't really see, you know, no consequence behind anything you demand. And I don't even see people willing to not even consume to a certain extent. So it's like, I can't really take anybody serious if you ain't even willing to stop spending the money that you don't have to keep it a buck. You're not even willing to do that. So why would they give you anything? Like, why would you get anything that you demand for? You're just gonna get lip service every political season like you've been getting. Oh yeah, we gonna hook you up. You know, they don't even give you specifics anymore. They just say, oh yeah, we gonna hook you up. You know what I'm saying? You don't even get nothing. So it's like, I don't even think why people still playing the political game, to be honest with you. Like, that game ain't a winning game for you. Like, this game ain't designed for you to play or win like that. If the only thing you offering is your vote and not no bread behind it, you know what I'm saying? And it really don't matter.
Let me ask you a question real quick then. So do you think that our community, and I don't like everything she say, but some of the people like Candace Owens, for example, who a lot of her message is saying you need to stop begging, looking for other people to fix your problems, right? That's what a lot of the message that she drives. to the Black community. Now, she's not, the most reputable person to be the face of our community, but I mean, for one, she does make some good points. Do you think, with that being said, that we as a community owe her an apology, and people like her?
Yeah, she a grifter, yo. Now, I say this, a broke clock is right twice a day, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard to diagnose the problems in the Black community because it's been the same problem since the 60s and the 50s, right? So all she doing is kind of like playing for the, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And also, her word ain't gonna be taken seriously because her choice of partner, right? You're not gonna never, like, that's one thing. I think Tupac was at one point was dating Madonna, right? And he, like, I think he was feeling her, and he broke it off because he, like, I'm not gonna be taken as seriously as a Black leader if I have a spouse that's not Black. You know what I'm saying? Or I have a partner that's not Black. So that's gonna be her problem forever. But I think she's kind of a grifter. But like I say, even grifters, the thing about a grifter is you got to know what you're talking about in order to be a grifter, right? You can't just go out here and spout nonsense and people won't take you seriously. You got to have some knowledge to be a grifter. Otherwise, you're just a clown, right? So she definitely says stuff that's true, but also at the same time, she don't got no smoke for any other community though. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's your smoke? So all white people are infallible. Like, all the Republicans are unfallible. Like, you don't have no smoke for nobody. Although I think she has said some stuff about, like, the rhinos, I guess they call them, or whatever. But like, when all your smoke is directed to just Black people, I gotta question your motives. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta have smoke for everybody.
Great point.
Yeah, so you got any last word on that, Lero? I see you back there. You gotta stop being bashful now. You gotta come up here and I see you gangster on the Twitter machine. You be gangster out there. You know what I'm saying? You got any last words on this subject though?
No, Candace Owens is just a clown. She just wants to push more integrationism on Black folks. She feels that's our problem, is that we're not integrating enough with American society. There's no, like, do for self talk by her. So, I mean, I rarely hear anything by her where I feel like, oh yeah, she's spazzing, because I'm like, her intent behind it is not the same as, like, what maybe I have in mind or some other folks have in mind. It's not like self-sufficiency and whatnot. So yeah,
definitely, that's good last word on that joint. So next topic I got is the Charlie Delta Charlie lowers the quarantine days down from 10 to 5. Plus we had the boy, the good doctor on TV, and he drops a truth bomb about the child hospitalizations. Basically, what he relayed is that a lot of these people that are in the hospital, they say it about child hospitalizations being up this season. But what he said basically on TV, which I was shocked to listen to, is that a lot of the kids that are there, is that if you're inpatient for anything, right, you break your leg, you there for any other problem or any other thing, they have to automatically test you for the plague, right? And then if you test positive, you're automatically counted as one of those cases, right? As the Rona case. Which I was, like I said, I was shocked to hear that. Like, a lot of people been knew that, because I know people who got surgeries recently, and that's one of the things you got to do before you get surgery is get tested, right? And if you test positive, now you count as a Rona case, right? So kind of is the narrative shifting? Do you see them kind of shine away from that? Because one thing somebody told me, I think I was watching the Hoteps podcast, where they basically got at is that if, like, Democrats, if they go into, like, this election season and the only thing they offering the people is, like, lockdowns, mask, and jab mandates, they're gonna get murdered, right? So are we seeing a shift, or are these people, like, actually trying to, like, tell the truth about some of the things you think going on? What y'all think?
I think they're backpedaling a lot. I mean, I have conversations about the narratives of what they've been saying over the past year or two. And people forget that they said that the jab should stop you from getting it. Like, people really forget that they said you should get jabbed. By getting jabbed up, it should stop the spread of the virus by like 80-something%, right? And right. What we see is that that's not the case. And people completely forget that was the narrative. And so now, I think instead of just saying, like, we got to go back to the drawing board, what they're saying is, instead of telling everybody that, got the jab out of fear, to keep your mask on and go back to the policies of washing your hands everywhere you go and all of that. They're trying to save face. And like you said, you know, elections coming up or for the next election, you know, you can't look like a failure. You're right. And they can't go drop a bomb on somebody because ain't nobody really, you know, we really not in that space, I think, financially as a nation to be out here dropping bombs on people preemptively anyway, especially with the withdrawal from the Middle East. So, you know, anybody else that we choose to get at smoke too, you know, we gonna get smoked, you know.
Yeah, that's the kind of what I was getting at too. Is like, yo, you cannot go into this 22 November, and they got a lot of important elections and stuff. I know I'm down here in Florida, man. They got the big governor joint coming up and everything. I'm like, bro, if like your narrative is like, yo, we need more masks, it's like, I don't know how that's gonna work for you. What y'all got? What you ladies got? Y'all got anything on these people kind of backpedaling, or do you see like some truthfulness coming out?
Go ahead, Lero.
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they've been backpedaling the whole time, so I don't really see any of this as anything new. I just sit back and chuckle every time they come up with some new discovery.
Yo, Marianne, touch.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got, Lero? Yeah.
No, I think, you know, it's just a real disregard for life. You know what I mean? Like, I got a loved one who, you know, especially with this, now the quarantine is now 5 days now, and they're expecting people to go back to work, you know, with, you know, tested positive for COVID, go back to work. And some people still got symptoms, and they like, you know, I still got to come into work because, you know, boss saying we got to come in and quarantine down 10 to 5. You know, capitalism got to keep running. We got to keep the economy going because we already been, you know, suffered enough. And it's just, I don't know. I don't trust none of the information they got going on because it's been so hypocritical this whole entire pandemic. But, you know, you got these people who just believe everything they say, and it's like they take it by law and they just.
Word.
I don't know. It's just so untrustworthy. But I mean, I just advocate for everybody do the best you can for you and yours.
Definitely.
And all this pandemic stuff, you know, don't worry about anybody's rules because don't nobody know what's going on. Everybody got an agenda.
Everybody try to figure it out. I said one of the things that was very telling to me is that despite, you know, them saying, you know, whatever narrative they paint, they never did any kind of federal sick days, yo. Never, yo. I know people out here who don't have no kind of sick. All they got is PTO, and then at that they get like 2 weeks of PTO. So it's like
they did do that.
They did the emergency federal employee leave.
Yeah, it was like 160 hours, which turned into about what, a month. You know, like you can have up
two separate ones.
Yeah, they re-upped the first one.
Yeah.
But that was
just the family first, corona relief, something.
What is this for Fed though? I don't think
I used it twice.
They let that expire though, didn't it?
Yeah,
twice,
once they rolled out that jab, that joint went out the window. That joint was gone.
You got to work, buddy. You need to get
like really what people should have been doing was I gotta, yo, that was free money. That was free money. They legally could not fire you.
That's what they were doing at my job.
Yo, you know, we was behind the curve on that one. I know I had ran out above 14, and good old Joe. This one good thing he did. He upped that joint, and then when I caught it, you know, I had another 80 hours. So that was you know, one good thing that he implemented to get some relief, but. I think it's kind of telling that they really kind of, I think they're really just saying, shit, we don't know what's going on, so we're going to make everybody happy, you know, and what's kind of crazy is that, like, you know, I'm in the Northeast, and, you know, when I was out in Buckhead, probably into October, I was down there for BET weekend, and, you know, Georgia, nobody wore no mask, you know, but up here, people like that too. Ain't nobody wearing no mask up here. You know, I think that, you know, I think it's a general consensus where people are like, oh, you tricked us to getting this jab, and now you telling us it don't work. I'm going to keep, you know, on the course of whatever I want to do. I'm not going to not go go out and, we're social beings. I think that's the hardest thing with this whole thing is that, we gave up a lot of time and, people lost loved ones due to the fear of the virus, people whose loved ones were dying in hospitals. You can't go visit them, and you have
that
the
was
90,
crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? So you got people that's now like F it, like at this point, most of us already done had it. And we understand, what the effects of it are. And I think a lot of us, like for me, when I had it, I was like, oh, I gotta have a change of life. Like, the first.
But what's crazy, yo? Like she said, 2 years in, y'all still don't know nothing. Y'all still don't know nothing. Like that don't even add up, yo. You're supposed to have like the most knowledgeable names and knowledgeable this, and 2 years deep. You know what I mean? Like we've been a long way from 2 weeks to flatten the curve, right? And it's like they changed the whole narrative, right? The whole narrative was always kind of like personal responsibility, right? If you older, you got comorbidities or whatever, you need to maybe, but if you like, a certain age or you in a great shape or whatever, then if you want to take a risk, you take the risk, right? But the whole thing was we don't want to flood the hospital, so we don't want to flood the hospitals. We know this is gonna happen. We know that's gonna happen, and they threw that whole thing out the window. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no more not flood the hospitals. Now it's like you have to like it's just about cases and cases and cases. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, what's the death numbers? Give me some real numbers. I don't want cases. I want to see what's going on. But they don't get like no real numbers. You don't get anything like that. So I think it's just been like confusion the whole time. That's why you got, and then it depends on what state you in, like you said, bro. Depending on what state you in, it's like you live in different countries. You know what I'm saying? If you in Florida as opposed to like Illinois, it's like, dude, is this the same? This is the United States, right? I don't know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's never been any kind of uniform, anything. People doing whatever they want to do. These people flip-flopping. We still got a sign on the door at one of these joints I worked a gig at that says like, don't wear a mask because CDC recommends, like, one of the first signs they came out with. And it's like, it's still on the door. And it's like, dude, how can anybody figure anything out with this, bro?
But that's kind of, you should take a picture of that, because when I mention that, people like, oh, I don't remember them saying that. Like, you don't remember them, Dr. Fauci on TV saying it's stupid to wear a mask when it first dropped. Like, I don't see why. And it shows you how quickly people forget. Like, I'm on everything. Like, I'm adhering to whatever they saying they adhere to, but it seemed like people just quickly forget. The narrative continues to shift. Some of these, I think it wasn't him, but it was some of these doctors. One of the things that they kind of said, in the slick type of ways, that we're all in this experiment together, and we're starting to see what the jab does in response to all these different variants of, the virus. And that's really what it is. It's, they needed a good sample size control set of people to then see what works and what doesn't work. And now that they have about 70% of the population jabbed up, they can start driving a good idea of what works best for the economy, So it's like, all right, if we know that 10% might die, and the other 10% might be jacked up from this, we still should be good, because majority of the working force could still go back to work. That to me, that's what kind of is what it is. And I think people feel betrayed. I think people are kind of like, oh, well, F it, I still got to go to work, but I'm going to do what I want to do. But I think that we should, in all communities, specifically the Black community, because a lot of stuff that affects us, like if you look at like heart disease, right? Heart disease affects us like 2 or 3 times more than any other demographic. Same with like high blood pressure and all of this stuff, diabetes. And I would like to see what the stats are of, they, like you said, they don't publish in mainstream media, the deaths, the adverse effects. I want to see specifically, because there was a journal out there that said, I think from Harvard or Princeton, that said that they felt like the jabs would have like 3 times a worsening effect on Asian and African Americans or people of African descent. So it'd just be interesting to see where they go from here, given the fact that they just pretty much letting people run them up. Everything's out the window, like you said.
That's a good point too. I seen one of the doctors who was talking about how genetically we're different. So something that affects one population is gonna affect somebody else's population different. And I'm not seeing like the stats rolled out for the different based on race and things like, because like I said, genes is genes. So it's even like been published that like certain jabs, we actually more prone to get autism and stuff like that. So it's like nobody kind of, medical science is never one size fits all. It's a lot of factors that go into it, whether your diet, your genetics, even what part of the world you live in and the climate and things like that. And it's like you never have a one size fits all. Medicine is always supposed to be a custom endeavor, because what may heal me may kill you. You feel me? So you're supposed to have like different categories for everything, but you don't really see that. All the information is kind of jumbled together, man. So that in itself may be apprehensive of that, but I think we beat this dead horse. Anybody got any last words on old Fauci up there and the quarantine days going down? We good on that?
We'll say that I had an interesting argument on Facebook where the point driven home was like I was looking at New Jersey's cases and then I compared it to like Georgia's cases. Or one of the states. It was like the 48th least jabbed up state. And the numbers were identical. It was like a 14,000 case average a day. And somebody was like, oh, well, that's because the people that's unjabbed up are spreading it. And it's like, no, stupid. Like how is that the case? Your least jabbed up state in theory should have numbers significantly higher than your top 10 states that are jab rates. And I think, when you do a little digging, it's in plain sight. Like the shit don't work. Shit don't work.
Yeah, they got like Florida. I want to say Florida and like California stats almost like identical when you look at it. And what's the name? I've seen a couple charts. There's a couple charts. I might put them in the show notes, but it's like and y'all want to do the same thing y'all did last year, yo. You got to do something different. You feel me? You can't repeat the same. What they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to mix it up. But what we got here next, we got the G-Max trial. If you know, right? Ghislaine Maxwell trial. The Epstein's right-hand woman was found guilty. But then afterwards, I seen them say they sealed the case file, which is crazy. So do y'all think she would be sentenced accordingly, or this just like a show? You feel me? It's like a show to appease the masses, or is she actually gonna do some time? What you think, yo?
Can I go?
Go ahead.
So I feel like part of me wants to say it was for show, but then the fact that it wasn't on mainstream media, who was it a show for? You know what I mean? Because you actually have to know, like you said, if you know, you actually have to know about her and her dealings with Epstein to even have known that there was a trial. So who would it have been a show for?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous that, the Rittenhouse joint got more than like child trafficking. You know what I'm saying?
Literally everything got more coverage than that.
Juicy Smollett, and it's like, yo, this gotta be the biggest thing ever. You know what I'm saying? Lero,
like
you got
crazy filler stories just to not talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. Did you hear anything about the G-Max trial, Lero, or is there something you didn't really hear about?
Yeah, no, I've been paying attention. I don't think it was necessarily for show, but I definitely think she's being scapegoated. Now, there was some like comments from like some feminists saying this is a form of sexism because she ain't being, because the men she was, I guess, sex trafficking the children to weren't being held accountable and whatnot. And I mean, I get that valid concern, but that's why I feel she's being somewhat scapegoated in this, but she's still a pedophile. So, I mean, that's disgusting, gross. To hell with her. And as far as her sentence, we'll see. We shall see. Mm-hmm.
I think another interesting note, too, is that the prison guards that were being charged with kind of like disappearing when Epstein allegedly killed himself, I think that case got dropped.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's
I think all their cases got dropped under the rug of, Maxine's trial, so it's kind of like you know, it's one of those Jason Bourne movie. You know, this would be a movie, but the names would be different in like the next 3 years because they're not going to wait 20 years. You're going to see the same story, but you are going to they'll probably throw like The Rock in there to be like some spy, kill him instead of get him locked up.
Not The Rock. Hey, you know what though? You seen the dude that is supposed to be like his Celly, Epstein Celly, yo?
Nah,
Bruh, it's like this big. I think he's supposed to be like one of those the white supremacists or something. But the dude look like the white version of The Rock, yo. Dude's jacked up, bro. He look like Tukey, bro. White Tukey, bro. It's like that's his Celly, and then he all of a sudden turned up dead. Like you already know they threw that bag.
Yeah,
like go ahead, check it out.
But you know, there's a lot of things that weren't revisited in the case that I would have liked to seen as a taxpayer, such as when the report initially got released, they found a book with a list of names, and they acknowledged that.
Never come out.
Oh yeah, it would never come out, but they they published this in the mainstream media, and you never heard of it again. And so we know that she's going to go down because those list of names. As we said before, you know, when they did the raid, they found a big ass mural of Bill Clinton in a blue dress sitting on the couch. You know, like that had to be your buddy. That had to be your man's. You know, and you know, there's probably all kind of politicians and you know, people running through there to get their rocks off.
Well, they had the prince. What that? Yeah. Oh shit. You can hear me? I might get went out for a minute.
Oh, you still good? You good?
Yeah, they had the Prince on there. They had what was it? Who else they had on this big name? I want to say outside of the Clinton joints, they had a bunch of big names up in there. And they was like, oh, it didn't happen. You know, Billy Boy was on the plane and everything, right?
Yeah, so Trump was you know, they had manifest with Trump kind of on the same private flights and stuff. So you know, he was the party guy, he was the party plug, and you know, unfortunately, you know, that couple, Maxine and Epstein, are the sacrificial lambs for the, you know, the pedophile. You know, that gravy train just got taken over by somebody else and they moved locations. It didn't stop anything. It just, they got caught and he's dead. She probably won't wind up dead either, but you know, she's gonna get probably 100 years. She's probably gonna get an insane amount of years. She's probably, I'll take that back. She'll probably get less years than that truck driver who breaks one out. But she'll still get enough years to die in prison.
Don't get the juice.
Yeah, she getting cooked.
You know what though? She got some. I ain't gonna go too in depth because I don't want to get this episode took off the damn air. But
too late.
It's too late. Yeah, you already said Obeezy name. You gotta say Obee. You gotta be codified, yo. It's over with. But she got some real ties to like some top people. Like I want to say her pops was almost like the first James Bond of that like straight spy type stuff, yo. So it's like her whole family lineage, yo. That's why I'm like, I don't think she gonna they might do the face off joint with her, and she might get a whole new identity, be on Miami Beach next year. You know what I'm saying?
Don't say that. That was my movie. Yeah, and it probably could happen in today's, like, have you watched that movie like lately? You see how like ridiculously outlandish it is, like when Nicolas Cage has his face like off, he sits up and he's like, oh, like he's sitting there talking with his face off, smoking a cigarette. Like, it's crazy.
Like, you know, they'll give her a new face and a BBL and call it a day, bro. She's gonna be a all right, so that's all I got. Anybody else got anything on the G-Max joint? Going once, going twice. So let's go ahead on this. I'm gonna have to toss this to L on this first one. So we got the Oklahoma bill HB 2988, which basically is banning CRT in the schools. You know, everybody knows CRT, critical race theory, based on like the 1619 project, I believe. So we had Oklahoma got a bill. I don't know if you're gonna have to go more in depth. I don't know if the bill has been voted on yet, but what's your thoughts on that, L? You could expand more on your reason about bringing that joint up.
Definitely, bro. It was Republican Jim Olson pretty much created this bill And from reading it and reading what he wants to do is that he's trying to not depict any one demographic as the victim or the oppressor. He kind of wants to say, you know, that this happened, and this was something that happened, but you know, just because white people were the slave owners don't mean that they weren't victims too. You know, like he's trying to play the
Bad, so sad.
yeah, like there were victims in casualties on both sides of the coin, guys. Like let's not you know, and he's, I believe that's Oklahoma, in which he writing that bill for. But you know, here, you know, it's just so much of backlash for, you know, the critical race theory, which I kind of hate that term, because it shouldn't be that we have to coin the term to talk about truth, you know, true history at that, and the effects of true history, like redlining. Like, why is that that can't be a term without it actually happening, you know? And so, you know, it's just one, you know, I find it kind of crazy that, you know, this dude is kind of like, nah, F this won't be happening in my state. We're not going to take away everything and just flat out be racist, but what we're not going to do is make my people look like we're descendants of horrible people, you know? And in fact, you were descendants of horrible people. It just is what it is. It's part of the truth, you know? And it's crazy because it's like there's always a conscious effort to remove the truth. And I think in our generation, because, you know, integration is a real thing right now. Like everything's integrated. White people are integrated with Black culture, Black people integrated with white culture, and everybody's integrated with everybody's culture. You got Black kids speaking Japanese, watching anime. You know, Michael B. Jordan was the face of Naruto and Coach's clothing capsule, right? So everybody's blended in. And, you know, I think it's very, you know, no pun intended, critical for us to maintain the context of our history, right? And this was like one of the few attempts, one of the like most blatant attempts of trying to erase the context of our history. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there to see what you guys think. And do you think we'll see like more senators and more laws that's trying to mitigate this critical race phenomenon that we're seeing?
Personally, I think, man, I don't think if you're depending on anybody to teach your kids your real history, I think you're gonna lose anyway, right? The brother only always calls it, and I use this term too, like the public food system, right? So regardless of what bill you put out there, or regardless, your kid's always going to kind of be subject to whatever the hell that teacher want to teach. I tell this story all the time. Like I had a science teacher, right? And she was supposed to teach, you know, evolutionary theory, right? And like day one, she's like, I'm gonna give everybody an A on this section because, you know, I'm a Christian woman. I don't believe people came from monkeys. Yeah, I think people getting uglier, but we ain't come from no damn monkeys. So everybody, and we, you know, we kids, we just like, okay, get an A on this section. Okay, cool. So it don't matter what bill you put out there. It don't matter what you know, curriculum you demand people teach or whatever, because once them doors is closed, unless you sitting there watching exactly what they teaching the kids, that teacher gonna teach whatever the hell they want to teach. You know what I'm saying? They gonna tell you what you need to do to pass the course, or they may even, like I said, this teacher I had, give you an 8 and keep it pushing, right? So it's really kind of asinine to me. It's like a futile thing to even throw a bill out there teaching whatever, because at the end of the day, these people that spend like 8 hours with your kids are going to be way more influential in what they believe. You know what I'm saying? So if you got like, you know, super redneck teacher who don't believe in CRT and think some bull crap, they're going to teach whatever they want to teach anyway. Or if you got like a super leftist rainbow flag teacher who wants to be down with BLM and got, you know, whatever they profile, they're going to teach whatever they want to teach. So it really don't matter what bill you put out there. The moment you send your kids to school, somebody else is going to tell them their ideas and stuff like that. But that's my thoughts on this. So I'm throwing it out to the ladies. What y'all think?
That's why it's so important as parents to constantly be teaching our children beyond what they learn in school. So while I don't agree with this bill, I mean, I still have the ability to teach my children. what I need them to know.
Word. Lero, you got anything?
I mean, as far as CRT goes, I mean, like you said, anybody teaching your kids their own history, anybody, you know, outside of your people, I mean, America's run on lies. You know, they don't even tell their truth about their own history. So I don't expect them to want to tell the truth about our history. And that's up to us to be teaching our children. And, you know, I get that we don't have our own schools and everybody can't afford to homeschool with the lifestyles they live in, but still just find some ways to teach your children your history. You know, I'm thankful growing up, you know, my people's made us read and we had assignments to do about our history and things like that, you know, so that, you know, we kind of knew certain things and whatnot. But yeah, it's not surprising to build like this. It isn't surprising. I'm kind of nuanced on the whole CRT thing. I don't really feel positive or negative about it. Yeah.
Definitely. It's like you switching one for the other. So it's like, I think it all starts at home, yo. And I think you hit on a big point. Like we kind of got lazy, man, as people. And I know a lot of parents here, man. I know most of us got kids and stuff. And so it's like you get complacent and lazy because it's like you working all day, right? And then you come home and then you really don't want to go straight into like, yo, all right, we finna do a history lesson this day or whatever, right? Because 9 times out of 10, you probably working a double shift. You a single parent, good luck. You know what I'm saying? But so it's like your only history for your kids is coming from different people. And the only people that teach your history to your people is your people, like Lero said. So it's like you have to go ahead and find that extra time to teach like real history to your kids, and at least the history that's relevant. To be honest, the only thing I want these people teaching my kids is civics, yo. Teach them about laws, how laws come about, how, you know what I'm saying, judges and how this functions, the three you know, different branches of government and things like that. And outside of that, we can handle the rest. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell a story all the time. My kid was like the only kid knew like who Marcus Garvey was or who you know, Khalid Abdul-Hamid and all the, you know, like, you know, all these things that should be like standard. My kid was like the only one like knew what Mayat means and stuff like that. It's like you got to teach something, yo. And that's kind of like why the organization, that's why I mentioned MCS in the beginning and things like that, because you gotta do something. Like even if you can't do it yourself or you don't have the knowledge base to do it, you need to start reaching out to some of these mentor organizations or any organization that's kind of teaching knowledge of self and stuff like that, and see if some brothers can help you out, if some brothers and sisters can help you out or something. Because if you're depending on the public food system, good luck, yo.
And with that, you know, let's give a prayer to, you know, the melanated people in Oklahoma who's having a, you know, that's like a slap in the face for those people out there. But you guys are absolutely right. Like, you know, but you know, that's part of what we've been doing though, is relying on government and relying on the oppressor to solve our problems. So hopefully everybody out in Oklahoma can maintain and
get off the first 48, yo. They always on the first 48 too, yo. We need
yeah, that's
so we need to focus on this. No more toast on the first 48, yo. So anybody got anything else on Oklahoma and their bill HB 2988? We moving on. All right, I don't hear nothing else. So all right, so is there a concerted effort to push the divide between Black men and Black women? We recently saw celebrities like Keyshia Cole and, how you say his name, Karrueche. Hell of a name. Pushing the celibacy and you know, kind of uplifting the single lifestyle, particularly for women, Black women. I'm gonna need you to stay out the shade room too. Right, yo, you come with these shade room topics. Shade room, it's a lot of masculinity on this panel.
That's why I wanted y'all to answer it though.
I'm just messing with you. So we see it a concerted effort. So I'm gonna throw this to Rod, since this is one of her joints. I want to hear what you think about it, particularly since you kind of think outside the box. So what you think?
I wanted to hear what y'all think about it.
She gonna put the eye. You want me to go? You want me to go? All right. So of course I believe there's a concerted effort. The thing that's funny about this though, to me, is like the two people you put up, or the two people that was the touted kind of, is the Keyshia Cole and Karrueche, who can't keep a man, despite, you know, being so beautiful and being all this other stuff. So it's like, of course you're gonna push celibacy and single lifestyle because you can't keep no man. But it's like when you're in these circles, in these Hollywood circles, my thing is I wonder would they even date like a regular dude. When you think of Keyshia Cole and Karrueche, it's probably some dude right now making a good 60, 70K, 80K somewhere who will probably worship the ground they walk on, right? But they still go to these celebrity lifestyle dudes or whatever. So it's like when you're dealing with that, circle of men or whatever, of course, there's so many options out there for them. You know what I'm saying? They get inboxed the box every day. So it's like, of course, your relationship's probably failed because you're probably looking for the wrong thing in a dude, right? But
Okay.
I'm not in these celebrity circles, so maybe they can only understand each other or something, but that's kind of how I look at it.
So with that said, are the men that they've had worth keeping? Like I heard you say they can't keep a man, but when you say that, you have to also acknowledge, were any of them worth keeping?
You don't want Chris
Look,
Breezy?
yeah, I mean, Jeezy and Chris Breezy. I mean, it depends what you want and what you determine to be like. It would depend on what that woman want their man to be in their life, right? If you just want a man with money that has some social status and that could financially take care of you, so you don't have to pay significant bills, then yeah, Jeezy would have been a good candidate. Chris Brown would have been a good candidate. I just don't think that they wanted to tolerate the lifestyles that they would have had to allow
Come
them
with
to
it.
live. Chris Brown can't be Chris Brown if he's not out here Chris Browning. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't expect Chris Brown, you to be the only girl in Chris Brown's life. How he gonna put out music? How he gonna be inspired to do the music that he's doing, right? But I think aside from them, if you look at some of these other big podcasts too, like Kevin Samuels' podcast, right? And the Fresh and Fit, I don't really watch their podcasts. I used to, but I think there's a concerted effort for women to force women to date down. I think it's almost like a head-to-head battle where you have women saying, I'd rather have what I want. I'd rather not have nobody than to have to settle. And then you have another side of the coin where a bunch of men are saying, oh, well, a lot of these women going to die alone because of their selectivity has went completely off the rocks, I think. Especially with like dating apps. Like you don't have to be near somebody to date somebody.
Right.
And so I think it's not so much a concerted effort to say be single. I think it's just that natural selection and selectivity is with the emergence of how technology is and how, I mean, you could download an app, swipe 3 times and probably hook up with a female within 2 weeks. Because the narrative is that, they both control their own narrative. Everybody controls their own narrative. But you also have this concerted effort of these, I like to say beta males. If you look at like the Fresh and Fit podcast, these is 2 ugly dudes that's telling men how to bag women that's out their league. And what they're doing is they're making beta males feel like they should be able to walk up to like these women that they wouldn't even be in their social circle and say, I got money, I should be able to have access to you. You know what I mean? And then on the other side, you got Kevin Samuels, who's giving the game up to women. Kevin Samuels is not a friend of black men because he's giving up the game for the single black man. The single black man that makes 70K a year in decent shape and might be attractive is winning on today's market. So I think there's a concerted effort to gain control over the selectivity of high value people, right? Because there's high value women too. And so I don't think it's just a woman thing. I think it's men trying to control the high value women and women saying, well, this is we not letting no average dude come up, run up in us, shoot the club up. That's not what we doing.
So let's go to tiebreaker, Lero. As a woman, right? This might be your ally right here. This might be your ally. What you think about the concerted effort about the celibacy and the single lifestyle promotion? What you got?
I mean, Nah, first off, I don't really pay attention to celebrities. I don't know about what they got going on for real.
Good
but
job.
as far
Round of
as
applause.
but as far as like, I don't think celibacy is necessarily a bad thing. The whole single lifestyle, I'm more kind of a family oriented person, so I feel like, you know, I definitely would be more promoting like family and, you know, healthy relationships and whatnot. But I can't say too much other than that, to be honest with you.
But is the not again? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is the purpose of them like using these two, is that like a bad look though? You know what I'm saying? Like, we see who's promoting like these different people, right? Now, if it was somebody maybe more wholesome promoting the celibacy lifestyle or whatever, it's like, okay, that makes sense. But if you got Keyshia Cole, who's then she proposed to Jeezy, like, you know what I mean? Like, you had a whole TV show, and then once she's just with like a dude like 20 years younger than her, some rapper or something, you know what I mean? Like,
you forget about Boobie Gibson too. She was married to Boobie Gibson.
Boobie, we forgot all about Boobie, yo. So it's like, and that's crazy too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna share a personal story, right? I once was like, when I was young, I was talking to this one chick, right? I used to work with. I went ahead and shot my shot, and we went on a couple dates and stuff like that, right? And so I had this chick, right? Like, you know, we chilling, and she's like, yo, like, you know, I really like you, but you know, I'm gonna keep a buck with you. At one point, you know, I was kind of like a hoe, but I want to do things different. So, you know, I don't want to really sleep with you straight away because, and then you tell me this, right? And it's like, so you gave all these brothers some off the rip, but you like me, so you're gonna make me wait. That's not flattering to me.
Yeah, she should have kept that to herself.
It's a such thing as too much information. You know what I'm saying?
It ain't no way I'm going to a used car lot and I'm hopping in the car and buying that car without test driving it first.
But it's like, so that's kind of like when you promote like a Keyshia, and not saying neither one of them hoes or anything or whatever, but we've seen like your relationships play out in the public, and now you're the one pushing celibacy and promoting a single lifestyle. Now it's not even gonna seem like a wholesome push. It's gonna seem like some bitterness. You, like I said, you can't make it work with the dudes. It was like, oh yeah, forget these dudes in 2022. You know, we doing it. Single ladies, we going on the girls' cruise, and nah, it's because you can't. Maybe you need to figure out what's up with you so that you're not keeping a dude. That's what kind of why I brought that up. You know, maybe you in the wrong circles. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you dating in the wrong places. So that's kind of why I was getting at with that. You know what I'm saying? And I think L hit on something too earlier when he was talking about the swipe life too. That's kind of another thing too. I read a report that says like you have like a quarter, 25% increase on male college age virginity, right? Some people might look at it as a good thing, but in reality, it's because, like I said, like a lot of these college girls, at least the baddies, they can just hop on the app and get a dude that's 30 years old to pull up with the benzo. You feel me?
Yeah, they're gonna pull what they want to pull, right? Like women, there are the times of women saying, okay, this guy's nice, we've been friends for 2 years, I'm gonna give him the shot. Nah, dudes are dying in the friend zone. Dudes are dying in the friend zone. And I believe this kind of correlates to, I think the death rate is higher than the birth rate right now, or is close, like it's going in that direction. And so, like, you know, like when I say over selectivity, it's because that people aren't procreating, trying to do because of their ideal of what their perfect family life should be like, right? And you know, I think the harm that comes from the Keyshia Cole, mainly Keyshia Cole, because she has been married and she does have kids. And what's that showing is it's like, oh, I'm not happy, so I'm going to slide. I'm not happy, I'm going to slide. And what that does is it makes everybody quit on their families, right? We already kind of, you know, happiness, you know, I think it teaches the wrong thing about happiness and how happiness is achieved. Like, I think a lot of these new relationships and talking to people, everybody's looking for somebody to make them happy instead of you finding your own happiness. And so I think if anything, that's the negative message being driven home by a lot of this. Like, I'm gonna withhold my only asset on the dating market until I can find somebody deserving of it. You know, like if that's what makes you happy, that's cool. But when you influence millions of people, you got to understand that not everybody's Karrueche, not everybody's a Keyshia Cole. You have some real just plain woman that, that $60,000 a year dude with the dad bod might be what's best for you in the long term. You know what I mean? So, but I digress,
I think right, guys. You had something to add to that, Rob?
Nah. I think y'all hit it on the head.
All right. Lero, we got anything else?
Nah, I'm ready.
All right. So we got the last joint here. Miss Betty White went on here, passed away at the age of 99. And what I seen online, at least, is a lot of grifting on both sides of the camp. I had one side that seen like talking about how she was so beloved in the Black community. I seen even one post do like, yo, she's an honorary ninja, you feel me? And then you had the other side that was like, y'all really crying over a white woman, white woman. So it's like I was seeing both sides. To me, it seemed both of them was kind of grifting off the death, which is a tragic thing to me, you know what I'm saying? Although, death is death, like the grift off anything, but we live in an age where the grift is undefeated. So I want to throw it out to y'all. Have y'all do y'all have any thoughts on that, or basically seeing this new age of kind of grifting where even like death is like fair game to get some followers and stuff like that? Or do you actually condone or have any thoughts on the past and the Betty White things like this? So let me throw that out there.
I mean, I seen Betty White. I don't think her dying is tragic because she was old and she lived a long, grateful life. And there's nothing to be said. Like, I don't know. I feel like you said, both sides kind of did the most. She passed, she went into the void. It was her time, and let it just be that. Everybody can say R.I.P. I ain't gonna act like I didn't care about Betty White. She wasn't beloved in the family and like, in the community. I didn't see her as nobody special, but R.I.P. basically.
Short and sweet. That's what I'm talking about. What you got, Rob?
Fun fact: I am a Golden Girls fanatic, but even with that said, this woman lived to be 99 years old. I could only hope and pray that I lived that long. Like, she didn't live the life of one of my good friends 3 times over. So, I mean, good job, well done. Enjoy the rest.
Word up. L, what you got, bro?
I said, man, she lived beyond the average life expectancy. I think instead of mourning, people should be just be celebrating the life that she had, and if you were inspired or she provided any happiness and entertainment to your life, just allow that to hold that in the memory. But as far as like that was my best friend, I love it is what it is. She was 99. Like death is undefeated. Time is undefeated. I see a lot of people capping online. A lot of people probably didn't even watch the Golden Girls, and they talking about, oh, I love Betty White, so, I'm kind of indifferent. I watched the Golden Girls when I was little too, because my babysitter only had 8 channels. So that was like one of the only things that I love. Yeah.
Life. They don't know about that, Jack.
Yeah.
Not to mention, like, didn't she die peacefully? I could see if it was like some tragic event that led to her death, but if the woman just peacefully passed away at the age of 99, I'm not understanding the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm surprised they ain't tacked the Rona on that joint just to, add it to the roll.
I was.
On the real. The way I feel about it is just let people do what they do. You know what I'm saying? It's like you have people so judgmental about each and everything. Like, if you want to feel sad, some celebrity you don't know died, by all means, have at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Like, this is the thing that kind of got me, when Kobe passed, you know what I'm saying? Bro, I didn't even like Kobe Bryant, yo. I was a Jordan dude, right? I was a Bulls dude. So I'm like, yeah, Kobe, yo. I can't stand this dude, right? When he passed, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I should have teared like a baby. I'm like, oh my God, yo, Kobe. You know what I mean? So it's like, let people have their moment. If they want to be sad because the old white lady passed on, let them be sad, yo. That might be part of their childhood. They may grew up with their grandma watching Golden Girls or stuff, or whatever. You know, I know one of the memories I have growing up is sitting at the crib, like I said, the 8 channel life, right? My grandma had me watching All My Children at like 5 years old. You know, I'm sitting there with my grandma watching All My Children. So I could probably name half the cast on there, right? So I may have a personal attachment to this as a memory with my grandma, who's now gone, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? So if certain people have certain memories attached to whatever, let them do them. But I just hate to see people like trying to grift to get your I even had people calling people coons because you sad about baby. Like, bro, it ain't even that serious, bro. If they want to put a post up, if they want to be sad for a day, because they're going to be talking about the Bulls, they're going to be talking about the NFL playoffs coming up in 2 hours. Like El said, people have the attention span of a goldfish. It'll be over in a day. But to sit there and try to grift off a day or two off, you know, Betty White, let that man be sad. If you want to be sad, be sad. You know, I might crack some jokes on you or something like that. You know what I mean? But outside of that, be sad, bro. That do you. You know what I'm saying?
Funny is that the same people just kind of make something out of nothing. They'd be the same ones talking about the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. Mad upset about Kyle Rittenhouse. Like, what you mad about?
Right.
What exactly are you mad about? But you know, you say that for another episode. You can go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, word. That's kind of what I was so confused. The Kyle stuff still kind of confuses me. I'm like, oh, like, why do you care? Like,
but you know, no hate, but you have a white young male shooting white males, and you're super upset about that, like he like went into a skating ring full of black kids and went crazy, you know, like I don't understand what people choose to be upset about and what they choose to be conscious about. It's just very confusing, but yeah.
Word. All right, that's all I got on Miss Betty White. Go ahead and rest in peace, Betty White. She had a good run though. 99 years old. I can only hope. I know the way I abuse my body. I'm checked out way before that is. It's a wrap. All right, so that's all I got. That's all topics we got for today. So I'm gonna throw it out to my co-host, man. If y'all got anything y'all want to plug, it was a pleasure hosting. Lero, I appreciate you coming through.
Yes, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Definitely. We might try to coach you back on to be the contrarian voice, you know what I'm saying? Because we get lost in our toxic masculinity around here. But let me throw it out to L first, bro. What you got? Anything you want to plug? What's going on? And Happy New Year too, bro.
Yeah, Happy New Year to everybody. Right, Lero.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
But shoot, man, we need to get this Patreon rocking. We need one of them what's the Titantron 9000? You know what I'm talking about? The
Really?
sound effect generator. Yeah, that thing's expensive. You need to get one of those for the pod. You can do like you do a rest in peace. You can, send people off properly or whatnot. But I ain't got nothing other than that.
Yeah, we need to get on. I tell you, we gonna have to switch to the visual, Joe.
Oh, get the t-shirts too. You listen and get the t-shirts.
Oh yeah, t-shirt epiphanies. I'm gonna put the link up in the show notes too. So go buy a shirt. Go on Patreon. Shoot them. I threw the Cash App in the joint. I'm gonna split. I'm gonna break bread with my people. Just throw some bread. The hosting fees ain't free. You know what I'm saying. Hopefully we provide some entertainment out there and also some news and some knowledge. Hopefully to the people out there. So I appreciate all the listeners too. Oh, I put the post up the other day too about the Zimbabwe joint. We actually made like the charts in Zimbabwe for some reason. I don't know why. But they messing with us out there. We might have to
go take a trip out there.
Word. Rod, what you got?
I got nothing.
Nada. Congrats on the promotion. It's always great to add a new co-host, yeah, appreciate that.
Somebody got to keep y'all in line.
I got you, Lero. Like I said, once again, I appreciate you coming through. We may have to coax you back on, we're gonna have to get more because You keep it gangsta on the Twitter, yo. You kept it real copacetic with us, yo. I got to get that gangster that 3-6 Mafia joint from you. But what you got? You think you want to plug?
I ain't got nothing to plug, you know, but you can follow me on Twitter. But yeah, I appreciate you for having me on. I'll definitely come back sometime. So
no, definitely. I think you're getting recruited too. I seen some posts earlier. I think Goku trying to
right.
You might have to. I might have to sign you to the label before the whole team.
First round draft pick, number one overall draft pick.
Oh, the real statue with. But shout out to KWAZ too. So that's all I got, man. So on behalf of everybody, I appreciate all my co-hosts, man. Much love to y'all, man. It's always a good time chalking it up with y'all. And so on behalf of everybody here at the House Reality Podcast, I gotta say peace.
Bye, y'all.
Peace out.
Peace out.
The Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.